Well, hello and welcome to the CAD tutorial channel. Today we're going to take a look at using Inventor to make flat pack furniture. We're going to look at a couple of different techniques here. I think that will make you a better designer and using the software more efficiently. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to take a look at the parameters up here, and we're going to set some, and we're going to use them throughout our design. We're also going to take a look at creating all of our part files in a single part file and still being able to create an assembly from it. I've tried to save ourselves a little bit of time, so I got ourselves a sketch started, and this is going to be my back of my shelf unit, so to speak. And the great thing about this technique is we can change the thickness of our material at the with just changing one number up in the parameters, and everything will update accordingly. Because as we know, most all sheet goods that we see out there have various different thicknesses. And so we can set a set of calibers on there and measure them up before we put them on a CNC router or whatever it might be, and have everything ready to go. Okay, so I'm in the sketch here. I'm going to edit the sketch a little bit, but before I do that, I'm going to come up here to the parameters button at the top of the screen. And I'm going to define a couple of user parameters. So I'm going to add a numeric. And my first one I'm going to do is going to be called TD. And it is case sensitive, so I'm going to fix that. And I'm going to set that to my tool thickness plus a slight bit of clearance. And this will be for any of the holes I drill. I don't want the router bit, in this case, to drill the hole. I want it to actually carve it. So I'm going to be using a 1/4 inch router, and I'm going to add that 0.1 on there so it treats it as a continual cut rather than a drill for it. But if I need to change my tool size, I go to an 1/8 inch bit or some other size bit. I can come in here and change and make this adjustment. All right, we're going to add a few others, so I'll do another one here. And this one I'm going to call MT for material thickness. And we'll set that up at 3/4 of an inch, but we will be able to make an adjustment on that as well. And then I'm going to make one called MTC, which is my material thickness plus clearance. This will be for slots that take a piece of material in. And so I'm going to say that's going to be equal to MT plus 0.02. And then my final one that I'm going to add is going to be CLE. And I'm going to set that to 0.01. All right, and you'll see how these work as we progress through. So those are my 4 parameters that I need to create most all my geometry. And we'll go ahead and use it. I have the basic shape laid out here. And I'm going to try and keep this as quick as possible so we can see kind of the payoff without wasting a lot of your time. So we'll do the back and we'll do the 2 sides or something along those lines and get ourselves going. And so I have this fully constrained at this time, but I'm going to come in here and edit some of these. So this is going to be a slot, so I'm going to call that MTC. Okay, and then I'm going to call this 2 minus CLE. So I know I'm going to have 2 inches on each side, but I need to, actually, I take that back. No, we'll go ahead and do that. Okay, and then I'm going to take this, which is my slot, and I'm going to set it at 4, and we'll set it at 4 plus CLE, and we want 2 of those, so we're going to go 4 plus 2 times CLE. All right, so now it should be equal. I can double check by throwing another dimension on here just to confirm it looks the same, and it'll say it's a driven dimension and they match, so that is good. So now this slot is in perfect shape for where I want it to be at. FX1. Something went wrong there. Oh, my material thickness is too big. And MTC is too big, 0.7. Should be MT plus 0.02. All right, a little boo-boo there. All right, so that's better. Everything looks right now. Okay, so now I got my first piece made, and I'll add some more features to this. As always, we want to try and keep our sketches as simple as possible and just have more sketches. So we'll go ahead and finish that up, and then we'll take and extrude it. And we're going to extrude it at material thickness. Okay, so from there, I need to go ahead and add a few other features in here. So I'm going to start another sketch on here. And on this sketch, I'm going to go ahead and draw some rectangles in. And I'm going to make those equal to each other, so I only have to put dimension on one side. And I'm going to place the dimension across, and that's going to be equal to 31 inches. And then I'm going to put one from here to the center, and we'll split the difference. Okay, that takes care of that. This is a little wonky. Let's fix that. Okay. All right. And we'll just go ahead and set this equal to this. All right, and then we'll set a dimension here for our depth. This one I don't need to get too sophisticated with, so it'll be 2. And then I'm going to place a dimension across it. And rather than using a number, I'll call it MTC, material thickness plus clearance. And that should update that one as well. All right, so we've taken care of the notches in there. We'll finish that off. And we'll extrude those as a cut. Like so. And now we have our notches cut to take the side pieces. We'll add more geometry in here, but to keep this thing moving along, I probably won't finish it all for you. I may take a break and come back and show you it all finished up, but I want to make sure I get all these features covered. Let's go ahead and add in, when we take a router bit or any cutter, we need to take into consideration we can't make a square corner. So we have an issue down here. So I'm going to start another sketch. Now normally I do all these in a single sketch on all of my holes. So we'll just do the set that we have. So I'll start a sketch up there. I'm going to draw a circle, and I'm going to give it a diameter of TD, our tool. That's too big, so I must have messed that one up. And it is. It's set it to 1, so let's update that to 0.6. Okay, fixed. And we'll continue doing that. So TD and TD. And we'll do this one up here as well. And let's see, we're going to go up with that. All right, and then what I do is I use a tangent constraint. Lock it in. If it doesn't turn black, then I need to go ahead and add coincidence on here. I missed it when I created it. Okay, down here at the bottom. All right, looks good. We'll finish that sketch off, and we'll extrude that as a cut feature. Okay, and there is our notch so that we will get a rectangle in here. So we're over exaggerating our cut to take that. And so now our piece will slide in there and in these pieces over here. All right, so I would continue to work this piece. There's more I need to do. It's going to be adjustable, so I'm going to have this slot all the way down. I'm going to do some other cutouts in here to take material away, but it's going to be the back of this shelf unit for me. But next thing I want to do is create my sides, and I want to do them in the same part file here so I can use the existing geometry. I don't have to duplicate that, but I ultimately want to get this into an assembly. So we'll use a little trick to do that. Okay, so we're going to start a new sketch, and we're going to place the sketch back on the same plane that we started the first one with. All right, and then I'm going to go ahead and draw a line up here, and come on over a little bit, down on the angle, and then back. Okay, so I don't have to worry about changing the height. I'm going to go ahead and use a collinear between this piece and this piece, and a collinear on the bottom. So now I've already established my height, so they'll match for me. Then I'm going to go ahead and establish a dimension from here, and I'm not exactly sure where I'm going to go with this, so we'll try 9 to start, and we'll try 12 for down here. Let's go bigger than that. Try 14. There will be adjustments made. I haven't really worked this design fully out yet. And then we'll go ahead and place a dimension to locate it. And it really doesn't matter right now, so we'll just set 24. So now I have a fully constrained sketch, and we're kind of ready to go with that. So I'm going to finish that sketch off. We'll go ahead and add some more into it. And now when I go ahead and I extrude it, the secret to this is I want to go ahead and pick this option, New Solid. And I'll go ahead and click OK to Material Thickness New Solid. Now I should see that I have a new solid up here on the top that will be useful. I can keep working on it, so let's go ahead and add this little notch on the opposite side. So let's deal with that. So we'll start a sketch, and I need a rectangle over here. Okay, we'll collinear this and this, and we'll set a distance off the back, 2 inches. Okay. Okay, then I'm going to drop a rectangle in. Oh, we gotta come in from the bottom on this one. All right, I got a purple line down there, so that's not in line. There we go. All right, dimension for this is going to be MTC. And then set that to MT. Let's get rid of that 2. Set another dimension here to MT. Okay, so I got an MT, MTC, and an MT that will make the dimensions for this. Now I got to go ahead and establish my 2 inches. Okay, let's trim up there. All right, that should take care of it. Finish that off and extrude it. Now here's another secret to it. I need to make sure I watch what I'm doing with this, that it's joining to the right solid, especially on subtraction options. But since this is a union, um, let's see, it found one. I think it's that, but I'm just going to double check. Here's my solid. I'll cross that out and pick the solid I wish to join it with. And it's set to material thickness. Let's go ahead and make sure it's in the right spot. It's going the wrong way. All right. And there's our piece added on. All right. Then we can go ahead and carry that geometry across and establish where our slot's going to be at with this piece here. So we would start another sketch and we'll draw a rectangle. Okay. Oops, wrong button. Use collinear. Now I don't even have to worry about the dimension. It's only in one spot. I'll set this to 4, same as the other one, plus 2 times CLE. Okay. And I really don't know where it's going to go yet. I'll figure that out. So we'll just set that to 4. And we'll go 4 minus CLE at the starting point. All right, we'll finish that up. And we're going to do an extrusion, a cut. So we'll switch to that. Notice how my solid is highlighted and it's picked here as one solid, so I'm doing it only to this piece. And I'll click OK to remove the material. All right, and then I'd go ahead and add my tool diameter onto here and continue to work this sketch. Let's go ahead and add a third part, and that should be enough for me to kind of move over to the next piece. So we'll go ahead and start a sketch again, same plane, and we'll kind of duplicate what we did over there. We'll start with a line coming on up, over a little bit, down on an angle, and back. And let's go ahead and draw in the rectangle now and take care of that rather than a separate sketch. Okay, let's set some measurements up. Collinear across here to here, here to here, here to here. Okay. And that takes care of that. I don't even remember what our measurements were, so I think it was 9. And it was 12. And this was, oh, that's right, we didn't use a measurement there. So let's go ahead and draw that in. Okay. So our height on this should be 2. Okay, we need another collinear. There we go. Let's establish distance to the center. Okay, doing good. Now we did measurement here should be material thickness. From here to here should be material thickness with clearance, MTC. And from here to here should be material thickness. All right, fully constrained. Let's go ahead and bring that slot over since it's not that sophisticated. So collinear. Okay. Don't like it when it does that, but that's all right. Work through it. All right, and then we'll set a dimension from here to here was 4. Minus CLE. And then 4 plus 2 times CLE. All right. That should be good. Everything's just finished. We'll finish it and we'll extrude it as its own solid. Pick it. It's good. And click OK. There's our third solid. All right, so I would continue to work this and get it all done, but I'll do that in the background so you don't have to watch me work my way all the way through. I'll show you the finished product when we get it all done. But let's go ahead and establish our assembly model from here. So this is fairly easy as long as we have our solids. And the great thing about it is we keep the adaptability. So we can keep editing and working on our parts while the assembly updates for us. So we're not losing any functionality. So we're using each of the parts to help us in a single part file. We'll have our own separate part files out there, and we'll have a fully adaptable assembly to boot. So we have kind of the holy grail here on everything that we could look for or want in creating some of these designs. All right, in order to do that, I'm going to come up to the Manage bar at the top. And where it says Make Components, I'm going to pick that. And I'm going to select my 3 solids. Now, if I was to come back at a later time and add some additional solids from here, then I wouldn't insert into a target assembly. I only want to do this one time. So after this time, and when you see the finished product, I will be adding a few additional solids to that, but I will do that without doing this step right here. But the first time we'll go ahead and do that. We're going to insert them into a target assembly. I want to make sure my target assembly is in the right directory, which it is. And I'm going to give it a name, and it's going to be Flat Pack Shelf. Okay. And I'm going to hit Next. And then for my solids, I'm going to rename them so they make some kind of sense. So this one's my back. And this one's my right side and my left side. Okay. We want to make sure we can change where they go, but that should be in the same folder that everything is located. And we'll go ahead and click OK. Okay, so right now it's going to go ahead and create an assembly and go ahead and make the part files. So as soon as I get over to my assembly, I'm going to do a save. This is going to create that initial save of the part files. So we'll click OK. And the only drawback to this is when they bring it into our assembly, it brings them in grounded. So I'm going to go ahead and I'll leave my background in, but I'm going to take the two side pieces and unground them. All right, so these now have freedom. And now we'll go ahead and make this up so that we have this. So on that side to here. Okay, just some quick little mates. Get this working. All right, one side done. Strain. I love the select other feature for doing this as quickly as possible. All right, one more mate. And there we go. Now we have ourselves assembly that is adaptable and editable. So let's go ahead and see that real quick. And then I'll take a little break and finish this up in the background. So back to my main pieces here. We're going to go ahead and I'm going to add in just an array feature right here real quick. All right, so since I did this in that original part file, I have to make a new one real quick. So I'll start a sketch here. And we'll draw a rectangle in real quick. Okay. And we're going to align this up here to here. I don't even have to worry about my measurements. All right, we'll set this dimension to MTC. And I need to establish a distance from here to here is going to be 2 minus CLE. All right, that's perfect. Finish that. We'll extrude it as a cut. Make sure the solid is right. It is. Click OK. And let's go ahead and add another sketch in here real quickly. So tool diameter, Okay, couple of constraints, and we're done. One needs an extra one. Okay, good. And extrude cut on that. Okay. Something happened on that, so let's see what I did wrong. Oh, I picked something here. Okay, fixed up. All right, then we're going to use, now that we have one established, we'll use a rectangular array for these features. Okay, direction, we'll establish down, flip it, and I don't know how many I need yet, so let's just say 10. Oops, 10 here. And this is going to be 2 minus CLE. We'll do it. And there we are. So probably could add a few more, but I can edit that up and clean it up. So this will be where our shells will fit in, and we'll bring that all the way down to the bottom. So I'm still working in a single part file, but let's go take a look at what's going on in our assembly. Once I hit the update assembly, notice that everything is still coming over from this piece here. So this is a great technique to work our way through and keep it simple and make our changes as needed. All right, I'm going to take a break here, and when I come back, I'll show you it all finished up and how the shelf will turn out. All right, I'm back, and I've taken and edited this up a little bit and finished some things off. Our assembly is now looking like this with all of our parts. I've added the top and the shelves. I've added some more details in here and cleaned some things up and got it. I have one more part here to finish up, and so I kind of wanted to show you once you have your assembly made that you still can be working on that. So I come back to this and I have a sketch open, and this is kind of the secret to this whole system. This is the piece that will lock in everything in the grooves right in here and lock it in. So I have set my thickness, or my variable of material thickness is the dimension from here to here. And then I have my material thickness plus clearance for the gap. And then I have another material thickness from dimension to get to there. And then I have my clearances all built in with those variables. And we're all kind of set. So this is my last part. Last sketch here. You can see I have quite a few sketches to make this, and we'll finish that off. And I have all the dimensions set on it, and then I'm gonna go ahead and extrude it just so we get some more practice, and we'll do it as its own separate piece for material thickness. Pick it, and we should have a new solid, which is solid number 7. I got a couple things to finish on it before we move it on over, so I just create another sketch. And the only thing I really have to do is throw some arcs in here at tool diameter. And add a few constraints. Okay, and then black, so that's good. We'll finish that up, and we'll extrude them as a subtraction. Make sure our solid is picked. I don't see it. There it is. Well, I got 2. All right, pick them. Okay, so, and one last thing, we'll round. Use a fillet 1/2-inch radius up here and here. Okay, so that part is done. So now I could keep going, adding more parts or changes, editing. Remember, everything will follow me all the way through, which is good. And what I'll do now is I need to get my solid 7 out and over into my assembly. So that's fairly simple. I'm going to go back to Manage, Make Component. I'm going to pick that solid. I'm going to unclick, make a new target. And I will give this a name of pin or connector, something that will make some sense. And I'll click OK. Okay, and then we'll go over to our assembly, and we'll just place that in like we would anything else. So there it is. I can put a couple in, and then I would go ahead and use my proper mates to get that interlocked in there. So that is my assembly and the editability of it. This is a neat little design. You can make it your own to get it done. I'll show you one last thing here. Easy way to get this over into our machining software is go ahead and take a offset plane, set it up a couple inches, and then we can start a sketch on that offset plane, and then we can project geometry of all our pieces. Okay, and on my bottom of my list here, I have that sketch, and I'll just export that sketch out as a DXF. Now that I can bring over in my routing software or my plasma software or my laser software or my water jet, whatever it might be, and I can go ahead and use it over there. This is great too because it's adaptive. If I go ahead and make any changes to the part files, that sketch will update. I just have to re-export it out to get it all finished up. I hope you enjoyed this video and you picked up some skills. Remember, just a little recap, we started off using some parameters and we set those up. My tool diameter, my material thickness and clearance, and my clearance. So we'll just do a little change here. My material thickness all the way through is set to 0.75. I'll go ahead and set that to 0.73 and done. And that should update everything throughout here and make the changes that are needed for that. Since I already made this sketch, these are now updated as well, so I would have to re-export that sketch out. But all I should have to do on my piece over here is hit the lightning bolt, and everything should update and be where it should be. Everything should be clean on my edges and perfect as we were hoping. Now, here's my shelf design. Just to show you one other thing before I let you guys go is I found this on the internet and decided to draw it up. And it's an adjustable stand-up desk using the same technique for that. So you can move your shelves around and your main desk up and down for a seating position to that. And so there's no glue or fasteners needed. Everything's locked in place. So this is a fun little project. I hope you enjoyed it. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do. We're trying to get as many videos and a variety of CAD software out there for you to enjoy and learn. And if you have an idea for our next video, please leave it in the comments below. Thank you for watching and enjoy your next project.